Okay, so basically, in order to be good parents, we have to slime a lot of pigs. Because if we don't do that, how are we going to know that we're perfect for each other? And if our way of finding out that we're perfect for each other is by denying each other the options, that's living in denial. I'm already afraid to look outside to see a bad sign from you. But I'm exercising my courage and I'm saying, I have to live in real time and see how Dance Girl responds to this. So basically, we'll have our first date on July 2nd. Then we'll pick out our house. Then we'll have threesomes and fivesomes for 10 years. And then we'll adopt 2 babies. Does that sound good? And by the time we adopt 2 babies, we'll know that we really love each other. We already know, but it will be very obvious. Because a lot of these people stay together for the kids. And by the time we have enough established history, we will know that we're not just staying together for the kids. And personally, I do think it's very immoral to have a baby. And I wouldn't dump you for being not vegan. And therefore you can say, well, I'll just get one of these other pigs to do it. If you really need to be pregnant, which is immoral, I'd say get one of these other pigs to do it. And then have your own baby. And live with me and I'm still your gorilla daddy. And I would, never mind. I was gonna say, and if you give me this, I'll help raise the baby. But that's not something to barter with. That's not a right thing to do. Whatever I'm gonna do in terms of that will be based on myself anyway. I mean, if we did homeschooling, they should have a house. They should have their own bedroom. Like, we shouldn't just have we shouldn't be like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where the whole bunch of us live in one room. Or maybe that's endearing. And we have family who have money who can help us with that. By the time we actually have adopting, we have family who would be like, okay, here's a bunch of money. And, if you really wanted to get pregnant, you could say, well, I'm going to get pregnant anyway. Why shouldn't it be with you? Well, what about having a gangbang and letting nature decide? But I think what Osho says is true. If you love the planet, absolute birth control is needed for at least 100 years. Otherwise, you hate the planet. Otherwise, you couldn't. You couldn't love the planet. But I mean, that's how I feel. Maybe that's not necessarily how you feel. But what I think we should do is have 10 years of, cake, and then have 10 years of history, and make sure that we have a tiny house, and we'd be getting the family for our baby. We would have a communal village then. We'd have lots of aunts and uncles. They'd be able to go sleep over at their houses. They'd be able to get the best of everyone, which would make a very well-rounded person. They're like, I want to go sleep over at Uncle Banana Head for a week. And I would like the Banana Head girl, too. And so I like the name Etienne. There's probably some names I haven't even heard of. Now, what about these fat pigs who are unloved by their husbands? Would we ever be with a married pig who says, my husband would not allow this, but I gotta do it in secret? I would lean towards no, because their husband's gonna kill us. And what about fat pigs? You know, it's not that I'd be against a fat pig, because there are pairs. And when a pair gets fat, I think, hell yeah, I'm a feeder. But there's something very spiritually wrong with a fat girl. You know, she's in a lot of pain. And she might try to, you know, cause some problems with us. But then again, you could say, well, the only reason you're fat is because no one loves you and guys are terrible. And, you know, therefore it's not your fault. So therefore, go ahead and be fat. It's fine. So I would say on a fat girl, yeah, that's okay. If your husband treats you good and you're still fat, then you probably have big problems. But, you know, a fat girl is okay too. Now, how fat? I don't know, like 130, 135. And that's assuming she's 6 feet tall. Okay? Now, how fat is Chelsea? She's 6 feet tall, she's 160. And what do I think about Chelsea? Yeah, Chelsea. Chelsea would be good. It would be. I would like to have Chelsea too. I'm plainly asking. Can we have a threesome with Chelsea? I'm 99% sure she's gonna say no. And I'm not hypnotized by Chelsea anymore. I used to think Chelsea is my beloved. I don't think so anymore. Which is very bizarre asking for Chelsea. I think it would almost be funny to ask her. To say, I know you want this, but you can't because you're a complete hypocrite and your life is fucked. And you're a liar. So you can't even say yeah. You can't even say that you'd like to. That's how much your freedom of speech is removed by your lying lifestyle. That now you can't even say yes to something that you'd like. That doesn't even harm anyone. A victimless crime that only helps and doesn't harm. You can't even say yes. But again, of course, Dance Girl, you have the veto. I would not ask Chelsea unless you said yes. She lives with where Travis lives, so we could do two birds, one stone. We could do a foursome with Travis and Chelsea. The first thing Travis did when he met Chelsea was he showed her a picture of his boner. I was so angry. I was like, he's not even circumcised. That's disgusting. And how wrong I was. How wrong I was. I said that to a girl at the strip club, that I'm regrowing my dick skin. So if you feel any device in my pants and you're wondering, what's that? I'm like, well, it's a dick skin growing machine. She said, oh, why would you regrow it? I said, because you can't have an orgasm unless you do. Circumcised guys can't have orgasms. You need slack to have an orgasm. She was like, what? I was like, oh, you have a kid who's circumcised. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Now, so I guess we can move on now. In conversation. I should be getting my new shoes tomorrow, but sometimes it comes early a day. I mean, are you ready to move on to a new topic of conversation? Do you have other stuff to talk about this? Well, it would certainly prove that we are in fact pair bonded and that we would make good parents. It would give me 10 years of sobriety to prove to myself and to you that I would be sober for the rest of my life. I certainly would never be a fucking pervert and a parent at the same time. and masturbating is perverted. So I'd have to go 10 years without masturbating. And masturbation is a drug too. If you masturbate, you're a drug addict. And you shouldn't be a drug addict and a parent. And being in an unhealthy, unloving relationship while being a parent simply means that the void of your life was too much to take responsibility, that life is meaningless except for the meaning that you create. It's too much for you. So instead you focus your life on someone else. And you say, I'll just be a parent and I'll make you the focus of my life. And then you realize, what I told Sonia, which is it's not going to bring you a sense of completion. Your baby's going to make you forget all your problems for about 5 years. Only 5 years. And then you're going to be stuck with them. And you're going to be stuck with them for fucking ever. And you're going to resent them and you're going to want to kill them. And they're never going to forgive you. And the whole reason you can torture them to death without feeling guilty is because you resent them, that you never wanted them in the first place. You did it for some kind of benefit, to keep the guy, to keep the paycheck coming, to stop yourself from feeling like your life is pointless because you're a nihilist. And, nihilists are immature. Of course, there's no meaning. That's what gives us freedom. If there was meaning, we wouldn't be free. We would be stuck. We just have to do whatever the meaning says. The point of there being no meaning is that we make up our own meaning. And that takes a lot of responsibility. Because then you're like, well, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm not on a team. I'm not playing baseball where it's the whole team effort. It's just me alone. So this is a good test. This is like, are we actually good parents? Well, are we good at sliming? Are we good at having, long orgasms? That's hard work. It's very hard work to have a long orgasm. The compulsion is just come as fast as you can. Just get it over with. Why? Because you lose a lot of energy and you're a miser. You're afraid of losing your energy. You don't know that what you give, you get to keep. And what you take, you lose forever. And so, when you're losing energy through your sex, you're like, oh, it's all gone, I can't keep it. Many people are constipated constantly for the same reason. They're afraid of letting go. They're accumulating everything. And so this is a good testing ground. Are we actually fit parents? And do we have a family who'd help us raise the baby? Because that's how they should be raised. If we had Travis, we would also have a plane. We would also have, a private plane, so to speak. But literally, we would have that. Travis would say, "Oh, I'll get you pregnant." Travis would say that in an instant. Probably. He says it's pretty cruel when people have babies. You never know about him. He changes his mind. But he believes that people having babies is very cruel. And I say, yes, that's exactly true. I agree. Travis wishes that everyone in the world would die, except for about 50 million people. He thinks that everyone who makes any decision out of fear should die. And when I've been calloused, I've thought the exact same thing. And that would probably leave about 50 million people. But these New World Order genociders, Holocausters, like Bill Gates and these companies like Vanguard and they are BlackRock, they are in fear. They're not like, oh, we're just acting out of fearlessness. You know, when you try to kill a bunch of people, try and kill a bunch of innocent people, that's out of fear. That's not even, you know, that's doing a Holocaust to kill almost most of the world. That's not really cool. Okay, that's not really cool. Okay, gotta give Stu his medicine. It's already 1 in the afternoon. Can never keep the blanket on the couch. Always falls off for some reason. Well, I hope I get my shoes today. And I'll most likely be learning how to do dry orgasms, which I've already learned. I'll most likely be honing that. And so a cum shot will be a rare event. And that'll give you something to work for. You're like, oh yeah, we'll see about that. Sounds like a bet to me. I'll be like, all right, sounds like a bet. I could just imagine how heavenly my cum is, eating only fucking mangoes and watermelon. It would be heavenly. My dick smells like a butterfly. Not joking. Okay, what do we have outside? We have a black SUV, a black Toyota. That would be a death threat from from an ABG girl, or is it saying you want a banana head? I don't know. Toyotas are a death car, but maybe they were there that first day. I don't really know. But I'm acting with integrity. I hope. I worry. I do worry I'm saying the wrong thing. I do feel like asking ChatGPT. Oh, and then there's a white one too. Maybe that's saying you in, I'll bet it's a Hyundai. It's a white Hyundai and a black Toyota. Let's see. Yeah. White Hyundai and a black Toyota. I guess that means you want one of the banana heads. Or maybe you're with him now, maybe you're cucking me again. I don't know. I don't know. But I have to be prepared to find out. Now, what kind of cars were those ABG cars? You know, that's also an ABG car. The white Honda is an ABG car. An ABG girl, an ABG girl car. So maybe that's the thing. I don't know. And then there's some nasty handler out there causing tricks, doing all kinds of nonsense. But, this is responsible to our kids, Dance Girl. This puts us through the fire test, that we're not jealous, that we actually love each other. And that if you say, well, you can't have your options because you might not choose me, well, that means you don't love the person. And I think Osho would agree. Osho would say if you keep your partner on a leash, they're your enemy. So I think I'm fine asking this. I think I'm actually fine asking. And even if you're like, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna dump you now. And now you're gonna be single forever. Because I was your last shot. I'd be like, well, what's the alternative? To be with someone who I can't even ask them what I want, who I can't even be myself with? I always said I'll never go down like that. I'll never go down like these normal faggots. I'll never do it. Even with Din Venom's ex-pig, even with Chelsea. Eventually, by a certain framework, that's why I broke up with Chelsea. Chelsea was like, hey, now we're in a relationship. What do you think? I was like, no. She was like, hey, I'm cheating on my boyfriend with you. I'm like, and I can't fuck you because I'm cheating. I was like, that means that you're asking me to be your new boyfriend and replace your current boyfriend. That means that you'd expect that from me. That means that you're keeping me on a leash. That means you're also a cheater. That means you're also a polygamist. And that means that I don't like you. And that was Chelsea. And just so you know, look at my dick. Well, I can't show you, but I was gonna put my dick right up to the camera so that you could see I'm talking about Chelsea and I don't even have a boner. But the ceiling is too high. The ceiling is too low. That was a little bit extreme too. That was a little bit try hard. And now the white Hyundai is gone. Maybe Dance Girl's saying, and now I just left you. I don't know. The white Hyundai is an ABG G-Girl car too though, so I don't really know. Basically, I'm gonna go out like normal. I'm gonna look for my normal signs to see that I'm still married to you, Dance Girl. It's gonna be scary because, you know, I'm always worried that you're gonna dump me, but that's part of life. You can never know if someone's gonna dump you. And this is also the same SUV that Dance Girl got out of the car with the banana heads at Walmart. And it is the same SUV that was parked outside my house when I got home from the date on June 2nd. Now, I think Osho would say, if you dump me over this, that's good.
6, 9, 1, 8, 2, 5, 4.
And so now we're getting a harassing phone call. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening. I am tired, and I am worried that I'm going to say, oh, I was tired. I shouldn't have said all this. I was just tired. But part of me is like, no, go ahead, say it. Let the chips fall where they may. Well, I'm not in the best of moods right now, but I don't think I'm broken about it. I could just take this as a sign that you want a banana head. In which case, yeah. I could take it as a sign of passive aggressiveness, that you're like doing the exact same thing that I asked you not to deliberately confuse me and hurt me. Which is, which is actually abusive. Which I believe that you're not abusive anymore. So I won't be abusive to you as well. And I'll clean the camera lens, because it's really fucking dirty. And I haven't put in my eyelid tape this morning, so I don't think I look the best. I only have a few pieces left. So here's the Banana Head car. And then the ABG car just left. ABGG car. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm one of those people who everything I say is wrong. I just have constant issues with people everywhere I go. My back is always up against the wall. I hope you still love me, Dance Girl. And, if you're talking to me right now, you're not talking to these banana heads. You're just saying, okay, I'd like the banana head. Because I'm like, well, I'd like Chelsea. I mean, I wish you could know how I feel about Chelsea. How much, how at the bottom of my list she would be, if at all. But yeah, the thing that really bothers me about this SUV outside is that I'm worried that you're trying to hurt me with it. Not that you're saying I'd like a banana head, like one of the banana heads, but that you're trying to punish me. That you're saying, now I'm going to go back to sex trafficking you and sexually torturing you. We're not together now. We've just broken up, but I'm still going to harass you. And I'm going to try to make you jealous. And I'm like, that would really hurt me. But that would also give me that would also make me say, I'm actually so glad that you're being so mean, because now I can just get over you. Now I can say like, oh, great, I'm glad I dodged a bullet. But if you're just saying that you want a banana head, or that you slimed a banana head last month, I don't really know. That would be okay. What I want now from you is that we can veto each other. So I would say, you can't slime a banana head now. You can wait until September and until we're established, and then you can have that. Then you can have him, or have both of them. I want their sister though. But it doesn't matter. It's not contingent on that. And so if you're just asking for a banana head, yeah, you can have them. You can have them once a month. And then, as far as living together, the banana heads are respectful. So that's cool. Now, of course, I would want to live with someone too, and it would be the fourth. And so, it goes both ways. So, fucking, yeah, Banana Head granted. So we're still married. We gotta wait till September to have our first menage. And in the meantime, no talking to other pigs. Yeah, you can have anyone you want. As long as they're nice. As long as they're not mean. Stuart, you're very bad. Now, I do kind of wonder and worry that maybe that's not the sign you just gave me. You may have just said, fuck you. Now I'm fucking the Banana Head and I don't like you anymore. Well, I don't know if I'm being wrong, but at least I'm being honest. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an immature person. Maybe I deserve to be broken up with. Maybe if you break up with me, it is my fault, but I'm doing the best I can. And to me, this seems fair. This seems right. This seems respectful. And so if I'm actually so retarded that I can't perceive it, then I deserve to get broken up with by you. Because to me, I'm just telling you how I want it. I'm telling you exactly without any compromise whatsoever, exactly how I want it. I want enough freedom to do it together, but enough slavery that we don't just have full reign to just go off by ourselves. Now, OSHA would say, go off by yourself, and any amount of keeping a leash is slavery. But he also would say that if you're married and you're monogamous, then it should go both ways. So, based on what he says, and he's like Jesus to me, and that's like, my religion is Osho. And he would say, don't even do that. He would say, better to be blind than follow him. But I'm using what he says by my own interpretations, and he's dead now, so what can he really say? So, if he wants to argue against me, how can he? But he also says he wants one thing from me. That after he dies, never say said. Say says. Say Osho says. Don't ever say Osho said. Remember that Osho's with you. So I think we're going in the right direction. That we give each other maximum freedom. Sexual love is always possessive. And so, for that we need hard rules. And then compassion is not possessive. So anyways, I'm probably gonna feed Stu, give him his medicine. I'm pretty fucking tired, really. I'm probably going to regret everything I've said. And I am wearing eyelet tape. I just went to bed with it. But it never works after I sleep with it. Should check what I look like. Yeah, it's okay. Not the best, but whatever. And I would like to become a super duper uber hot guy. You know, that'll be difficult, but I'd like to try. I'm tired. I need a nap, I think. And it's hard. You know, I'd like to jack off right now. Just thinking about all this. Feeling the pressure of maybe you don't like me anymore. It scares me. It's scary to look out the window. I really, really think it's very unfair to me, but strangely to you as well, that someone is sending misleading signals. Someone is really fucking perverted. And a real control freak. They're angry. When they can't control someone, they're actually genuinely angry. They actually measure their power by how much they can control someone. That's what gets them off. And if they can't, then they feel powerless, and then they're angry, and then they throw a fit. And they say, oh yeah, okay, you didn't listen? Now the rules are 10 times more strict. Now you are in solitary confinement. It really made them angry when I drove by the school, taking my mom home from the airport. They were furious about that. When the fire truck honked, I got angry, and in my mind I heard, they're even madder. And now they've forbid me from even going on Franklin Street on a Sunday, just to show how angry they were about that. I like that I can go back to talking to you as my pig and really go back to it. You know, 5 minutes ago I was like, and then I want this pig, and then I want that one, and then I want this one on top of this one. I want to stack them like chairs, and I want the cream pie to drip from this one to this one, and I want to double dip and triple dip, and I'm like, now I'm just like telling you about my day, and I'm like, I'm not even there. I'm not even in the threesome zone. I'm telling you about my day now, and how fucked this handler is, how unfair it is, even in spite of considering that possibly this black SUV outside is from you. I mean, that was what was there when I got home for my June 2nd date, and that was probably you saying, you know, remember the cuck. And now it's the same thing outside. It was exactly what I didn't want to happen. So I'm almost suspicious now you broke up with me. It's gonna be really difficult for me to go out. I could go out, and I do have a full e-bike battery. I do need groceries. I want to switch to fruit now, though. I feel like I don't really know that you're against me. I mean, I got the harassing phone call. That could be from you. But I'm trusting that you're not that person. To some extent,
I'm trusting that I don't deserve to be treated like that, and what I've said isn't wrong, and that I'm not a retard who can't see outside of myself, but that if you are mean to me based on what I just said, that we're not even good for each other anyway. And especially if you're like, now I'm going to harass you. Now I'm broken up with you. Now I'm going to harass you. I'm going to sleep deprive you. I'm going to torture you. Then I'm like, that's really fucked. Because I'm not even trying to hurt you at all. Like, being deliberately malicious is not the same as accidentally hurting someone. And so if you respond like that, I'm like, good. I'm like, we have the Panasonic phones now. But I'm going to keep, like, obviously these are just my feelings. And part of being a gorilla daddy is that your feelings don't matter. But your deeper feelings matter. Your superficial feelings don't matter. Your comfort, your pain doesn't matter. Your pain and your pleasure don't matter. Your suffering matters. If someone makes you suffer, then fuck them. But if someone causes you pain, then that's okay. You know, including yourself. If you suffer, you're doing something wrong. If you're in pain, you're not doing something wrong. So the pain of getting dumped for being my authentic self would be okay. That would be allowed. But suffering for being someone I'm not would be wrong. So basically, I'm gonna keep treating you as if you're new dance girl still. And that this SUV outside was not from you. It was not, a way to hurt me. If you did say you would like a fucking banana head, I would say yes, that's cool. But if you asked me like this, it would be passive aggressive trying to hurt me as well, because obviously this would be a very ambiguous way of saying it. So I'm gonna stay married to you, and I'm going to go out like normal, hoping that I get an I love you from you. And I'm going to keep not jacking off for you. And I might even get a watermelon and start being raw vegan again. Now, if you say yes, this is cool, this will be very exciting for me. I'll be very happy. If you still love me, I'll be very happy. I think you should be happy with me too. That I'm like, you want the banana boys? Go ahead. You want the shark eyes? Go ahead. That you feel that I'm confident enough that I can give you that. I think that should show you I think you should be able to feel that I'm not faking it. And you should feel how much I trust that you love me. Even with this car outside. I mean, the handler has already sent a Volkswagen SUV to imitate you. So maybe they're sending this to imitate you too. Truthfully, I mean, not that I'm ever untruthful, but I mean, despite my doubt, what if I had to bet, I would bet this SUV is not from you. And, you know, how big of a house could we even afford? We could probably get something livable for $50,000. And a big issue is the lot. We already have the lot. And I know it sounds greedy, okay? I know it sounds greedy. But we could afford more if your parents give you money to go for the lot. Like if the house is $50,000 and we each pay $25,000, then whatever the lot is worth, your parents should add that on too. So that way we could afford more. Because my mom will be giving us the lot. So then your parents should give you something equivalent. And then it's a fucking asset. And then in 20 years, whenever we sell it, if we ever sell it, we'll get more money for it than we paid for it. It's like, it's literally free. Like real estate is the only thing to buy. The richest person in our family, well, you know, I don't know who it is, but in my well, he's not even biological, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But owning houses and land is a good idea, even though it's fucked. Even though by 2030 we're gonna own nothing. We're not even gonna be able to travel in cars. And you know, I want you to remember too, you can veto all of this. I'm only asking you here. I'm worried you're gonna be mad and you're gonna punish me. And I'm like, if you do that, I'm gonna be mad at you. And I don't want to start a fight. You know, I would prefer you, if you don't like it, you just say no. And I won't nag you. I won't be like, come on, dance girl, come on. I won't do that. I'll only ask you once for something. I'll remember your answer, obviously. So if I get a fucking watermelon, then I'm going in my bike with a backpack. I kind of need to sleep. I'm so tired. Got a spoof call this morning. I guess it's from going for my bike ride yesterday. They're like, don't go on Franklin Street or else you're gonna get sleep deprived. I'm like, I'm going to bypass my anger. And I'm going to focus on what I love. I'm going to remember that you're as big as what you love and as small as what annoys you. I'm going to remember that if I saw my handler, I would laugh profusely. It would be that yellow guy from Sin City. Now, what if you break up with me? Oh, could I still be a super hot guy then? Yeah, I'd be pretty disturbed. I'd be pretty fucked up. But would I just go back to getting high and jacking off? I don't think so. I've seen how good it is now. This is almost 2 months of effortless not jacking off. Very painful, but it's not something that I'm forcing, counting the days like how I used to. And my shoes should come in the mail today. That should be good. Oh, is it Monday? Oh my god, my fucking phone might come too. Oh, why isn't the iPad working? Did I unplug it? We got these new cords. They're like 10 feet. Oh, the black SUV is gone. Hi, Steele. Hi, Stuart. I'm a very good boy. Sometimes I forget it. I think it's Monday. Actually, I know it is. We got some text here. The fucking iPad is at 36%. That's crazy. I think this cord actually works better. We had these same cords, but we've had them for years. We just ordered replacements. And the cord actually charges faster when it's new. I think I just heard someone beep outside. I don't think I'd react the same way if you're like, now I'm gonna torture you and kill you. I'd be like, okay, well now you're just another person. You know, you're not even special to me anymore if you do that. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, kind of thing. Oh, my poor cousin Helen, she's been awake for 24 hours. You know, she does nursing. She gets $5,000 paychecks. But, I mean, she's like doing a lot of being on her feet. She has good posture. You know, I'd like to tell her I'd give her money if I was rich. They just don't even work. yeah, so getting honking outside. I had a weird breakup with Marina. We broke up, then we got together, and then we broke up again. I hope that that's not Dance Girl and I. I don't think it is. I'm hearing audio hallucinations that say it's not. I hear these ting noises coming from Dance Girl's house. And those are a good sign. I could have a burger. Yeah, I could have 2 burgers for breakfast. Oh yeah, yeah, that's fucking amazing. We only have 1 bun. But I love burgers. With pickles, onion, tomato, lettuce, ketchup, mayonnaise, salt. I put the burger bun in the toaster oven and put it on warm. Gets me fucking wet. And you know the other thing I could do? I could, the longer I don't jack off, the better my singing voice gets. And when I eat fruit, it gets way better. I could get into singing. I could make my own music. Do covers. That could be fun. Maybe if I get a volunteer job, I could get a volunteer job playing music at a restaurant. I could do instrumental guitar and play soft, peaceful music or something. My mom had a job playing piano at a restaurant, and the guy was a real dick to her. And she's like, you know, you treat your employees like really badly. And he laughed. He's like, you're not an employee. You just play piano here for $20 a week or something like that. She was like, oh my God. You know, you think of your mom as a dragon. And sometimes it's like, wow, did that guy hurt your feelings? Like, he was a real jerk. Like, I'd feel like crying if someone did that to me. Like, I got my hair styled to be a hair model for this show, and the guy was such a jerk. They told me they'd pay me $150, and then they just never paid me. The modeling agent, he's like, go talk to that guy to get paid. And I go over and talk to him, and he says, who told you you'd get paid? I was like, the modeling guy? He's like, he's not the owner. You know, I took it out all on my pig. I was super abusive to her then. I was like, you fucking whore. You fucking slut whore. Going around modeling. What's wrong with you, you fucking narcissist? You know, I was just berating her the whole way home. She's like crying and she's like upset. Yeah, and then she's like, you took my clothes off to show your friends. Like you undressed me to show your friends what I look like naked. And I'm like, but you know, you're not like fucking them or something. I don't know. I was abusive, really. I was actually genuinely abusive. I didn't understand. I vaguely had a sense of it. And she would take it on, you know, she would just cry and apologize. And part of me said, you know, this is insane, right? You know, you're just taking it out that some guy was mean to you and now you're bullying your pig. You know, this is completely insane. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know, but she cheats on me too. So fuck her. Yeah, I know it's crazy. You think I don't know that what I'm doing is transference? Of course I know that. But she cheats on me and she lies to me. So I have the right to punish her for anything I want, even though it doesn't make sense. What do you think S&M is about to begin with? You want to tie up your partner. is to get even for all those passive things. Now they have milk bags at Freshco. Well, this would also help me very much. If Dance Girl is in fact, and now it's cats. Now it's black cat, now it's black dress. Now it's Dance Girl saying, we killed your cat, and fuck you. If Dance Girl's doing all that, and she's like, and now I want you to die, and now I love that your cat's dead. And now I was one of the people who, when your cat was going to the hospital to get put down and he's drowning, I was one of the people who's blocked your car so that you couldn't drive, so your cat would drown. I was one of those people, and ha ha ha, and fuck you. I'd be like, good, I'm glad you're telling me all this. Like, good. Whatever you say is right. Whatever you say is good. Now, what do I think that's going to happen? No, I think Dance Girl was wanting to hurt me as bad. You know, it's kind of like Kramer from Seinfeld. He's not necessarily racist. He was just saying, you know, you would have been hanged 100 years ago, and he's screaming. He's trying to just hurt them in any way he can. It's not that he's actually racist. He's just having a fucking outburst. And so I think what happened last month was not you're actually saying, oh, I like killing your cat and I like you in pain. I think you were saying, you fucked me over. You lied to me, you stood me up. You cheated me. You humiliated me. And so now I want to hurt you in any way I can. I don't think you're genuinely like, I love torturing innocent cats. Okay, I don't think you're really saying that. I think you're just really angry. And there's a difference. You know, violence met with violence isn't violence. It's like defense. And in your mind, I had deliberately conned you to humiliate you and to tell you I never really liked you, and I'm just trying to set you up. So you're like, oh, you're trying to set me up? Well, then I'll fucking kill you. And I'm like, now we're on the same page. We know each other are not trying to set each other up. So there's no need for violence. Or for police. You know, for me, anything I do it legally. I do it through the police. As much as I don't trust the police, and it's not even that I don't trust the police. It's that I don't even know what the police are. Like, each police officer is handled by a different handler, and so they're ultimately just the employees of BlackRock and Bill Gates. Like, literally, it's like, okay, you're going to the police. Whose bodyguard are you getting? Larry Finks or Bill Gates? Or, you know, who is it? I don't know. Who does this officer work for? Does he work for Bill Gates or Larry Fink? Or Ghislaine Maxwell? Is he one of the ones who escorted Ghislaine to Quebec? Is this one of the judges who, is this one of the prison guards who moved the body double into Jeffrey's cell? Which one is this? Which one is this? Is this one unrelated? I mean, I think some handlers are good. I think some police are good. I like to think that most police are good, even though they're all white men. That's just how human nature works. You're like, well, of course I'm going to give the job to my son. If it's a $150,000 job and you can only get it by someone recommending it who's in your family, that's just happenstantial that they're all white and they're all men. I wouldn't want a fucking female cop or a female firefighter. Not that I think that you'd even be protected. You know, I would never think that you could just teleport a cop. Like, you're getting mugged in the forest, and you're like, okay, just teleport a cop. You know, like, you know, it would be much safer just if everyone could carry a gun. You know, but I wouldn't do that because Because that's not my style. Having an unlicensed gun is not my style. And even having a licensed gun isn't, because unless you can do concealed carry, there's no point of it anyways. So, I'm not into this whole jumping around doing backflips and kicking guys and, doing trick moves. I'll just be like, the police is the only way. And in that sense, I do trust them. I just don't trust the handlers. But in the other sense, I trust the handlers too. Something like Hawaii, that's a handler's handler. That's like where the handler gets vetoed and someone else from way above comes in and says, okay, don't turn on the sirens. Don't turn on the water. Turn the water off. We're going to burn this place down. And the fucking chiefs, they always have some Pizzagate type stuff on them. The people who call the orders, they're always like really bad. They're like, yeah, we wore her skin. We danced. We did a kabuki dance wearing her skin. Yeah, they fucking honked already. That's so lame. But there was someone else who honked who I thought was you, and then it turned out not to be. So that's cool. So I'm gonna still trust you, Dance Girl. I'd like to get e-bikes. I'd like to get a walkie-talkie, really. Let's see what. Oh, look at little Edgar. Now Laura is making a big scene. Look at Edgar. Isn't he so cute? Everyone loves him. I'd like to go on a bike ride with my girlfriend on our e-bikes. And the wind makes it hard to talk. Is there mini earpiece walkie talkies? Yes, they're hands-free earpiece and strap-on walkie-talkies. What do you think about strap-ons? I'm indifferent to that. Device built specifically for cycling. They use technology called full duplex intercom, which means the line stays open constantly, so you can chat naturally like a phone call without ever needing to push buttons or take your hands off your handlebars. They also feature noise control and filter out background wind, making it easier to hear, even when riding at high speeds. Here are the best earpieces. Oh my god, they're $160. Well, or $260. But it gets 4.5 stars. They're $300 on Amazon. That'd be a lot of money. But it would be worth having. And I'm assuming you get two. That's like a month's rent. $219. They go behind the ear so you can wear a helmet. Oh yeah, that'd be a good kind of headphone, really. There's some old Sony ones like that. It'd be good for riding with a helmet on. But whatever, my fucking Bose work for that. Well, I'm gonna ask Google Gemini about dry orgasms. I'm practicing dry orgasms. Much of my ability comes from foreskin restoration to have enough slack. Slack creates ability to last longer and have deeper orgasms without blasting nut, sperm, baby batter. And my understanding is I have an orgasm on level 2 and it feels like level 10, but sometimes it actually, yeah, I don't really know if this works. This is kind of what I want to ask. My understanding is I have an orgasm level 2 and it feels like level 10, but nothing comes out. Seems to trigger refractory, but still dry, but doesn't really trigger it, just gives a release where I have to look. Any cum comes out? No? Wow. Thought it did. Felt like it did. Then I jack off again and cum comes out. I verify that way that I did have cum in the pipe, but didn't release it due to way of holding my energy or muscles or something in my junk. Other times, I think to have a dry, I must stay at level 2 and feel a mini orgasm with release, but not the release of cum, the release of tension, and yet underlying is still tension that never releases, and that only cum makes release. And I don't want to come because it makes me retarded. And so these mini level 2 orgasms, as I keep not coming but having level 2, it brings my strength up so that a level 2 eventually feels like a level 10, and a level 2 eventually feels higher than a level 10, and it is like delayed gratification that always do a level 10 and come nut bust everywhere, then your strength goes down, as does your strength to absorb pleasure. And so really, by doing Coryza, your orgasms become stronger over the events and years and time. What do you think? From a physiological standpoint, what you're experiencing makes sense. When you talk about having a dry release where you feel the sensation of orgasm or tension release but no semen comes out, you're essentially experiencing the separation of the neurological trigger of orgasm from the physical trigger of ejaculation. When you practice techniques like Coryza or localized muscle control, you are training your nervous system and your pelvic floor muscles to manage high levels of arousal without crossing the point of no return. The release of tension, you mentioned feeling a mini orgasm at level 2. That releases tension but leaves an underlying layer of arousal. Physiologically, an orgasm causes rhythmic muscle contractions and a sudden shift in your autonomic nervous system. You can absolutely experience that neurological shift in muscular release without actually triggering the prostate and seminal vessels to pump fluid into the urethra. Why the cum is still in the pipe. When you check later and find that semen is still there, it confirms that you successfully managed your arousal levels to avoid emission. The stage where fluid is loaded into the prostate chamber and ejaculation, the actual pumping out, you are keeping the energy local without letting the physical reflex take over. The strength and sensitivity build up. Your observation that staying at a lower level eventually makes a level 2 feel like level 10 is well documented phenomenon in sexual biology. Neurotransmitter regulation, constantly chasing a major climax, busting a nut, floods the brain with dopamine, followed by a massive spike in prolactin, the hormones responsible for the refractory period, sleepiness, and that temporary drain feeling you described. Sensory ups regulation. I don't know, I've never heard that. Ups regulation. By intentionally holding back and practicing delayed gratification, your nervous system actually upregulates. Okay, now it's just upregulate, I've heard of that. It's sensitivity. Your dopamine receptors stay highly sensitive, meaning smaller amounts of stimulation and lower levels of arousal begin to feel incredibly intense, deep, and powerful over time. What you're building through is the discipline of what you're building through this discipline is essentially a higher baseline for pleasure. Instead of a sharp peak followed by a crash in your physical and mental energy, you are sustaining a high plateau that builds your focus, sensitivity, and stamina over months and years. It is a highly focused way of listening to your body's signals. If you're interested, we can look into the specific anatomical differences and anatomical differences between the two stages of male climax, emission and ejaculation, to give you an even clearer map of what your muscles are doing during these practices. Yes, what is emission versus ejaculation? And what about slack? Understanding the difference between emission and ejaculation is secret to mastering the techniques. While they happen back to back during a standard climax, your nervous system actually treats them as two completely separate events. Emission versus ejaculation, the two stages. When you are arousal surfing, your body navigates two distinct neurological phases. You know, the horn also came from over there by Dance Girl Street. The mechanics. Let's see. Emission, loading the pipe. The mechanics. This is the involuntary stage governed by your sympathetic nervous system. Emission. As arousal peaks, your prostate seminal vesicles and vas deferens contract. This pumps sperm and fluids into the base of your urethra, creating that physical sensation of point of no return fullness. Your experience. When you checked later and found fluid was in the pipe, it means your arousal got high enough to trigger the emission, but you successfully stopped the process before the next stage could fire. So emission is loading the gun. Stage 2, ejaculation. The mechanics. This is a reflex governed by the parasympathetic and somatic nervous systems. Once fluid fills the bulb of the urethra, it triggers a reflex arc in your spinal cord. This forces the bulbous spongiasis and pelvic floor muscles to rhythmically contract, violently pumping out fluid. Your experience. By practicing Coryza and holding your muscle energy at level 2, you're training your brain to decouple these two systems. You get the neurological shift of the orgasm, tension release, without letting the spinal reflex trigger the muscular pumps of ejaculation. What is slack and why does it help? You mentioned slack coming from restoration. You identified as a massive mechanical advantage for stamina and pleasure absorption. In a circumcised state, the skin on the shaft is pulled taut during an erection. This creates constant high friction, high tension pulling against the nerves of the head and shaft during movement, which sends rapid, intense signals to the brain, rushing you straight towards ejaculation. The slack rewrites the experience. Gliding mechanism. Restoring skin recreates the natural gliding mechanism. Instead of your skin constantly rubbing against clothing or a hand with tight friction, the skin rolls over itself. Reduced nerve panic. This smooth movement drastically reduces aggressive friction. Less friction means your nervous system isn't being flooded with panic signals to climax immediately. It gives you literal and physical slack to linger at a level 2 arousal without getting overwhelmed. Deeper sensory absorption. Because the skin is looser and mobile, it stimulates a wider variety of specialized nerve endings that detect subtle stretching and rolling rather than just raw blunt friction. This expands the depth of the pleasure, which is why a level 2 can eventually feel as rich as a level 10. By combining physical slack of mobile skin with the intentional relaxation of your pelvic floor, you are removing the raw friction that forces an explosive finish, allowing you to cycle that energy and build long-term sexual stamina. If you want to look into how specific pelvic floor relaxation exercises can help you better manage that underlying tension that doesn't fully release, I can break down some targeted stretches for you. Yes, tell me how. And also, is emission needed? Can we bypass that too? Emission versus ejaculation, the two stages. When a standard climax occurs, your body navigates these back to back. Involuntary is. Can we bypass that? Yes, you absolutely can bypass emission. Bypassing emission is the ultimate goal of advanced Coryza and non-ejaculatory training. When you bypass emission, you don't just stop the fluid from shooting out, you prevent the fluid from ever leaving its storage glands in the first place. This is what we want. This means the pipe stays completely dry and no semen is sitting around waiting to be cleared out later. How it works. And if you're like, oh, that's not fair. Well, I also don't get your cum either. That's like, and if you do, that's a rare event. Only like 10% of women can ejaculate. How it works, the neurological shift. Emission is triggered purely by the intensity of your sympathetic nervous system arousal, the fight or flight side of your nervous system that ramps up during excitement. The grip. If you grip your muscles tightly, hold your breath, or try to fight the peak using force, your body registers that internal tension as high stress. This stress actually forces the sympathetic nervous system to fire, triggering emission and loading the pipe. To bypass emission entirely, you have to shift your strategy from physical containment to profound relaxation. Stay under the trigger line. Instead of letting your arousal climb up to a level 9 and trying to hold it back, you intentionally keep it at a level 2. Keep the pelvic floor flat. You must completely drop any physical tension in your jaw, lower belly, and pelvic floor. Think of lengthening and expanding the pelvic floor muscle rather than squeezing them shut. I think that kind of reminds me of a reverse Kegel. Soft, deep breathing. Keeping your breathing slow, deep, and steady tricks your brain into staying in the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest state. When you master staying highly sensitive but physically loose at a lower level of arousal, your brain triggers a neurological release of tension, a true dry non-emission orgasm. I think I have those while I'm sleeping, while I'm dreaming. I might get my fucking phone today. I'm so excited. So, your observation about Slack is... Oh, we already read that. Oh wait, yeah, it's just repeating itself. What about Slack? In a state where your skin is pulled taut and tight during an erection, every single movement creates friction, sharp stretching against the surf. The intense friction sends rapid, high voltage alarm signals to the sympathetic nervous system. So basically you can't have a dry orgasm when you're fucking snipped. And that's how you turn a guy into a sex slave to make them breed. That you want your slaves to breed. So you make them snip so they can't have dry orgasms, so they get pregnant every time. But if you weren't a retard or physically retarded via snipping, you would only ever have dry orgasms because there would be no point in having a wet one unless you want to make a baby. Okay, so expanding the pleasure horizon. The gliding mechanism, having physical slack creates natural gliding movement where the skin rolls over itself rather than rubbing aggressively, dampening the sensory panic. This roll and glide movement dampens the blunt, aggressive friction signals. It softens the sensory input going into your brain. Expanding the pleasure horizon. Because the skin has room to move and stretch softly, it stimulates a wider variety of deep tactile nerve endings. Instead of sending a single sharp signal of pain, climax immediately, instead of sending a single sharp signal of climax immediately, it distributes a broad, warm wave of pleasure. This extra physical slack gives you a massive buffer zone. It gives you the time and space needed to stay relaxed, keep your arousal perfectly balanced at a level 2, and enjoy deep release of tension over years of practice without ever loading the pipe. If you want to explore specific breathing techniques used to redirect that building energy away from the pelvis during a session, I can break down a step-by-step routine for you. I mean, I think that's like all we need to go into today. But one thing I want to ask it, when I did an emission but no ejaculation, I held intense, crazy pressure contraction in my pipe. I felt it was so intense that I could bite down and yell, and yet nothing came out. I felt like I blocked the pipe from the inside. But when I have sex dreams, I wake up, soft pipe, no cum, and think that was a true dry with no emission either. And the relaxation state in the dream would align with what you're saying. The waking experience, crashing the gate, emission. When you felt that intense, crazy pressure contraction where you wanted to bite down and yell, you were using pure muscular force to physically block the exit. You know, I felt like I brought myself up to the point of no return, and then I let off the gas. And somehow I got the release. I got the hook point. Like if it was a chin up, I got my neck to the chin, and then I instantly let go. And because I got the release, I technically got there. I got over the line to get the release. But then I let off, because if I would have held on, it would have been, I wasn't strong enough to hold on, really. The level of high physical intensity and squeezing acts like a massive panic signal to your sympathetic nervous system. Your brain registered this extreme tension and fired the trigger for emission, meaning your prostate and vessels contracted and dumped the fluid into your pipe. The blockage, your conscious muscle clamp was strong enough to act like a closed gate, stopping the ejaculation reflex from pumping it out. But because the gate was closed after the pipe was already loaded, the fluid had nowhere to go and just sat there until you cleared it later. The dream experience, bypassing the system entirely. Your sex dreams are the perfect proof that the parasympathetic state of that at work. Why it was completely dry. When you are asleep, your conscious mind isn't there to panic, grip, or squeeze your pelvic floor. Because your body was in a state of deep involuntary relaxation during the dream, your arousal was able to peak and release neurologically without ever triggering the sympathetic nervous system. The result, because the sympathetic nervous system never spiked, the command to load the pipe was never given. Your prostate stayed completely quiet. You experienced a genuine, clean release of sexual tension in the brain and nervous system, waking up soft and completely empty. How to bring the dream state into waking practice. Your goal now is to replicate that exact dream state softness while you're awake. Instead of using a muscular clamp, you want to use the slack of your breathing and mind to dissolve the peak before it hardens into an emission. The next time you practice and feel your arousal climbing to that bite down level, try shifting away from the contraction entirely. The flaccid drop. Keep your jaw entirely loose. Your jaw and pelvic floor are neurologically connected. Tight jaw means tight pelvis. The reverse Kegel. Instead of, I didn't even tell it that. Instead of pulling your muscles up and inward to clamp the pipe, gently push down and outward, as if you're trying to drop your pelvic floor towards your feet. This physically prevents the prostate from clamping down to load fluid. It takes time to train the waking brain to stay as relaxed as the dreaming brain, but your body already knows how to do it. If we want, we can look into the subconscious mind processes, how the subconscious mind processes these physical, that was a late one. That was a latent ooh. These physical releases during the sleep cycle or map out a specific breathing pattern to help you mimic the dream state relaxation. So tell me about a reverse Kegel. Describe it in simple terms. A reverse Kegel is the opposite of a regular Kegel. Instead of squeezing and lifting your pelvic floor inward like you're trying to stop yourself from peeing, a reverse Kegel is about gently pushing outward and lengthening those same muscles. Is it like trying to pee? No, it's the exact opposite of trying to pee. So a Kegel is stopping the pee, and so is a reverse Kegel. No, they're opposites. Let's clear this up. A regular Kegel is stopping the pee. When you're midstream and you suddenly clamp everything shut to hold it in, that squeezing, lifting, and tightening movement is a regular Kegel. A reverse Kegel is the exact opposite. It is letting the pee go. It is a feeling of completely dropping all effort, opening the floodgates and pushing downward and outward to let it flow. So a Kegel is trying to pee then, or simply allowing pee without caring. Oh, wait, I meant a reverse Kegel. A reverse Kegel is not trying to pee, and it's not simply allowing pee without caring. It's a completely different physical action. The big misconception, why it's not trying to pee. When people try to pee, especially if they're rushing or forcing it, they usually push down using their abs. Squeezing your stomach creates a high internal pressure that clamps the pelvis tight. In your waking practice, that kind of forced pressure is exactly what triggers emission and loads the pipe. A reverse Kegel completely avoids that stomach pressure. What a reverse Kegel actually is, the drop. Instead of a forced push, a reverse Kegel is the physical act of lengthening and stretching the pelvic floor open. Imagine your pelvic floor as a tight trampoline. A regular Kegel pulls the trampoline tight and lifts it up. A reverse Kegel pushes the center of the trampoline down, stretching it towards the ground. The best way to feel a true reverse Kegel right now. Sit comfortably on a chair, drop your shoulders, and completely loosen your jaw. Take a deep, slow breath into your belly. Let your stomach expand like a balloon. As you breathe in, imagine sending that air in all the way down to your seat. Gently nudge your pelvic floor muscles downward and outward, as if you're trying to softly between your hips, between your hip bones. You should feel a distinct sensation of the muscles around your anus and base opening up and dropping. I think I got it. So like, prolapse your ass. Is that what it means? When you're practicing and your arousal climbs to level 2 or 3, your nervous system's automatic reflex is to panic and do a regular Kegel, hard clamp. By consciously performing a reverse Kegel instead, you are physically forcing those deep prostate gates to stretch open and flatten out. This instantly lowers the neurological pressure, drops the tension, and prevents the prostate from contracting, allowing you to have that deep dreamlike release while keeping the pipe dry. So a reverse Kegel is prolapsing my anus. You are saying to stretch the pelvic muscles by relaxing them. But how is that something I can do by choice? Any effort will be a contraction and a Kegel. And I don't even know where my pelvic muscles are. I'm just guessing. This is not groundable for me. Stretch my pelvic muscles. How do I do that? Where are they? How to stretch them? How do I know I did it right? Is there other terms you can put this in? Like do opposite of trying to stop P. And that is reverse. Sorry, I'm confused. Pelvic floor muscles are hidden inside the body, so trying to find them and control them feels like moving your ears. It feels like you're just guessing. Let's strip away the medical jargon, clear up confusion about prolapsing, and ground this physical sensation you already know how to do. Clearing up the confusion, is it prolapsing? No, reverse Kegel is absolutely not prolapsing your anus. A prolapse is a medical injury. A reverse Kegel is just normal, healthy, muscular relaxation. Think of your pelvic floor like your jaw. Okay. When you're stressed, you clamp your jaw shut. When you relax, you let your jaw open. Dropping your jaw isn't dislocating your jaw. It is just releasing the tension. A reverse Kegel is simply dropping your pelvis open. Well, how do I find my pelvis? I think I may have done it though. I kind of feel like, yeah, I'm doing it right now. Any effort will be a contraction. You're 100% right. If you try hard, you will end up squeezing your stomach or clamping your pelvis, which is just a regular Kegel. You cannot muscle your way into a stretch. Instead of doing an action, a reverse Kegel is about creating an internal shape using your breath. How to find the muscles without guessing. Your pelvic floor is a muscle sling that runs like a hammock from your pubic bone to your tailbone. To feel exactly where they are right now, sit in a hard, flat chair. The skin and muscles that are physically pressing against the hard chair right now between your legs, right around your anus and the base of your junk, is your pelvic floor. When you do a regular Kegel, those muscles lift up and away from the chair. When you do a reverse Kegel, those muscles drop down and press gently against the chair. That makes sense. How to stretch them in terms you already know. Since you cannot grab these muscles with your hands and stretch them, You use your lungs and diaphragm to push them open from the inside. Here's the exact unconfusing way to do it. The balloon belly technique. Sit on that hard chair, lean forward slightly, and rest your elbows on your knees. This position naturally unlocks your pelvis. Completely drop your jaw so your teeth aren't touching. Take a slow, massive breath into your stomach. Do not let your chest move. Make your lower belly expand outward like a fat balloon. As that balloon expands, follow that downward pressure with your mind. Let that belly balloon gently push all the way down into the chair. Other everyday terms for it. It is the exact feeling of allowing yourself to pass gas when you're completely alone and don't have to hold it in. Like farting, that's like prolapsing, isn't it? It is the exact feeling of the opposite of stopping your pee. It is the absolute letting go of the muscular gait so the flow can start. How do you know you did it right? You will know you did it right by focusing on the physical feedback from the chair. If you do it wrong, regular Kegel squeezing, you will feel the muscles pull up and tighten. Your stomach will get hard, your jaw might clench, and you will feel like you're lifting off the seat. If you do it right, you will feel a physical sensation of warmth, widening, and dropping against the chair. You will feel the skin between your legs get heavier and press harder into the seat, purely from the weight of your breath. Okay, well. I'm too tired to try it now. I need to have a nap, I think. Oh, and a burger. I need a burger too. That's the one thing I won't sleep for is fucking burgers. Okay. Oh, I love burgers. I can make a double burger. Yeah, I have a feeling that Slack has a lot to do with this. My best workout was I had to actually stop myself from yelling. I never had those in my life. I read a lot of circumcised guys. They're like, when I had my, who are gay, they're like, when I had my first uncircumcised gay guy, I realized that we were having a completely different experience. And once I started doing foreskin restoration, I actually had to stop myself from screaming. That's how fucking intense my orgasms were. I was like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. And then I was like, I want to kill my mom. I think I'm going to kill my mom now that I realize what she took. But then, it'll make you so mad. It'll make you so fucking mad when you find out. But, and at the same time, you should be happy. Of course, do I really want to kill her? No, of course I don't. Okay. Of course I don't. Yeah, but a circumcised guy claiming he knows what an orgasm is it's the funniest thing you've ever heard of in your life. It's so funny that you want to cry.
So yeah, I'll just do some dancing. Yeah, I can't dance. I can't even dance anymore. I basically lost my moves. Except for my twerking. But I can't even twerk. You know, I've really lost my groove. I've really lost my groove here. You know, and I never even checked the back of my hair. I don't know how that's doing. I'll show you my special device here. So it's kind of dirty. This part cost me like $150. And then this goes on here, and then this goes on here to catch it. And this has a thing that goes in it that you push it down. So it's like, you know, you stretch it out like this. So this one will do the whole 10 inches or however much I need. I'm not saying I have a 10-inch dick. I'm saying I need 10 inches of stretch. So yeah, I'm gonna have a burger. I'm probably gonna start eating fruit soon. And I feel pretty good. I mean, my biggest fear, of course, is that Dance Girl will break up with me. But you know, right now I'm not that scared. I actually don't think she has. And so like there's someone harassing me, like there's some handler who's like beeping and calling early. I'm like, I don't even care. I have a life. Like you can't take my life. You can't ruin my life. And you know, I'm happy too. I mean, like that I thought of the Mr. Sub girls. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. There's a whole bunch. Peter Blonde would be nice. She's real feisty. She's a feisty one. And then there's the blind neighbor. I've never seen her, but I always suspect she's probably a honeypot. I'm still waiting to see what she looks like. And so we're going to. Looks like we're wasting some food here. But I gotta basically clean up the kitchen a little bit. So I guess the video is kind of over. I don't know if you want to keep watching. I'm gonna go. You know, I did just get a pretty fucked up sign. So I thought to get the man's girl. I'm still doing okay. But, you know, really, I think it wasn't the Dance Girl. What I actually think will happen at this point, given Dance Girl and I's level that we're on, is that if she dumps me, you know, the horn did come from near her street. It did come from her side. She could be saying, no, you're not allowed to go on Franklin Street near my house. In which case, I would be like, you don't own the street. But in which case I would just keep going. I would just say, then kill me. Then do whatever. Then don't threaten me. Just actually kill me. Actually kill whoever you want. Rapist. But fucking, I don't think it was from her. And what I think is that if she actually dumps me, that she'll just simply dump me. And I just won't get any sign from her.
And that's really what I worry about. But would I regret it? Like I was a bad girl? I don't think so. I am tired. I might wake up after and go, oh my god, what have I done? But, I don't think so. I mean, if I'm gonna have a fucking baby with her, or a fucking, a family, I'd wanna, I'd want it to be the way I want it to be. I wouldn't want it to be a compromise. Clearly, most people are compromised. It's not a good thing. Well, you have to make compromises. Well, actually, if the relationship takes work, it's not worth working. So, how doesn't it take work? By just being yourself, letting the chips fall when they may. And I'm being loyal here. You might say, well, if you're really being so loyal, why do you keep saying it? It sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. Because I have low self-esteem and I doubt myself. Because I'm new at being the gorilla daddy. Just asking for what I want unapologetically. I mean, that's not easy for me too, to say it goes both ways. And if we have an FFM, then we have an MMF too. That's also fucking difficult for me. And I'm growing. Like, to be able to do that, I have to be a certain amount of secure in myself to be able to do that. So I'm just getting some water here to stew. It's not really that much. I'm gonna get some medication. Hi, Stu. Yeah, you need your medication. Here you go. Yeah. And I like that I have Osho's approval too. That means a lot. I mean, Osho is still the only person I trust more than myself. So, yeah, cooking my burger, medication, ate a lot of my mom's snacks. Warm. I don't know if I should cook some mushrooms with this burger. We're gonna do Tai Chi. Now our neighbor's legally blind, but she can still see too. She has the same kind of car as Jim had, which is odd. I need to do some stretching. Fuck you, Stu. I think I need to relax my PC muscles. Yeah, I think I've gotten it because I used to try to jack off from flaccid to coming without ever contracting. And it was really fucking hard. But the more I could do it, and that's where I got to the conclusion of saying, oh, here's the neighbor. Let's see if we can see what she looks like. Well, she's blind, so it's clearly not her driving. They smoke in their car. Oh my god. They have brown skin. I can't believe it. They smoke inside. That's fucking nuts. And that's an older couple with an adult daughter. Do you want to spy on them with me? Or is that rude? I'm looking at them through the window. If they see me doing this, it's going to look real creepy. Now they're pulling up even more. They're pulling into the garage. Oh wait, no. They're just pulling up even more. Now I can't see them. Now I'll have to put my head out the door. There's no way I can see them. So yeah, I gotta go bake, gotta sign up for counseling. TSD's brother just walked by, I think. Wearing a red shirt and a hat. Wasn't sure if it was him. But I think it was, if that was him, I saw him a couple days ago walking down the middle of the street. Isn't that funny? That'd be really funny. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see this now. Okay, I just waved to the neighbor. He looks like Santa Claus. He has a big beard. That's so cool. Okay, I don't know what color their skin is. Not that it matters. It might just be tan. And, okay. He's fucking cool. He's fucking cool. Jim's daughter said he's really cool. Jim's daughter said these are really nice people. Yeah, I just fucking waved at him. The guy who walked by in the red shirt and the blue hat, it was TSD's brother. You know who I'm calling TSD's brother? The other day, they had him walking down the middle of the street. Not even on the sidewalk, walking on the street to say, I own your street. Isn't that hilarious? Oh my god, that's really funny. Trying to declare your alpha by mimicking the gorilla daddy is not alpha. Pretending to be the person you're trying to usurp is not actually being the person. Pretending to be someone is not actually being the person. Take a good job. Pretending to be doesn't take That's actually pitiful. That's actually really pitiful. And they have like a blue car driving super loud and aggressive down the street. That's actually pitiful. That's like embarrassing. Putting a smile in their face. I'm listening to
this song by Muse. He's like, you wanted more than I was worth, and who cares anymore? Oh, it's such a good part. I'll be right back. I have to listen to this loud. I don't love you. I never would dare. I don't love you. I never will. Wow. Well, who am I singing that about? Let's hope, Chelsea. Man. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, I think it's. It takes me a long time sometimes to realize those things. Here we go. And, whoa. This is a lot of bass. It's a lot of fucking bass. Yeah, okay, so basically, the guy neighbor, he never shaves his face. He has long gray hair. Oh, a Honda just drove by. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Dance Girl. Oh, thank you, Dance Girl. Really fucking awesome. That is so fucking amazing. Thank you, Dance Girl. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so fucking happy. That is fucking amazing. Oh, what a nice surprise. Thank you so much, Dance Girl. I'm so happy about that. Fuck you, sir. And I'm gonna get my new shoes today. Ah, I got everything. And I got a burger. But there's no fucking... Well, we have everything to a burger, too. There's no mushrooms. I'm not frying mushrooms for a burger. You know, all you really need is what's it called? Oh man, this is so good. Even if, it doesn't matter, but I'm not assuming this means you're saying yes to everyone I want. But just the fact that I put my desires out there and you still are with me, this is a big affirmation to me. This is very nice. And this makes me feel like we can live together. It makes me feel like, why would you ever money rape me? Like, I believe that you love me. And if I'm not secretly, wishing you would die so I could go fuck Chelsea, or something like that, or, wishing you would die so I could fuck someone else, then why would I ever leave you? Like, why would I ever not want to be with you? And I always said Joanne is my godmother. Joanne is my spirit person. And, there's a big... Marina too, because if I didn't have them, you would wonder, do I really like you? Or are you just the only pig I can get? And so you have to see that. And I have to prove it to myself too. Are there other pigs? Yeah. So therefore, am I with Dance Girl just because I'm desperate? No. Because Dance Girl might think, oh, you really like these other pigs. Well, why wouldn't I just go be with them then if I don't love you? Why would I just say to them, hey, do you mind if I sleep with Dance Girl? Because I'm with you now, Richie. You know, because obviously I'm loyal. Obviously, I'm fucking. Now Dance Girl say, oh, you're just loyal because chronologically in order you met me first. Otherwise you like these other pigs better. No, I'm not saying that. We have a deep relationship, you and I, Dance Girl. You know, obviously, you liked me. Well, why did you like me? Was I with someone else before? I was with Rave Girl when you first met me, Dance Girl. But I already had seen you before I met Rave Girl. But maybe I didn't. But I did, but you were like 10. But I mean, when you were stalking me, you were, I'd already met Rave Girl at that point. But you were stalking me when you were 10 too, I believe. But who knows? Well, who would have ever thought that Rave Girl would be just raving stark mad? I'm not so into Rave Girl. You know, I'm happy that I don't like Rave Girl. Rave Girl is a witch. She's a master witch. She's powerful. My dad was like, don't get into being powerful. If you learn how to do spells, don't do that. If you learn how to do soul gazing, don't even go there. Don't even ever think that surpasses just being forthcoming. And you know, that one poet, that Jamaican poet said the same thing. There's this guy who's white and he talks in a Jamaican accent because he's from Jamaica. And he says, "Oh, you man, how I cast a spell on my girl. If you don't love me, I'm thinking of grinding up some lizard tail." He's like, no, don't do that, don't do that. Everyone in the comments is like, you're talking to a world famous poet. You think he's just a random person on the street? This guy is like famous and you don't even realize. But you can see by the way he carries himself, he's not an ordinary person. He's barefoot. The way he's dressed looks really strange and cool. I'm gonna show you. But first I gotta put some pickles on my burger. Oh, thank you so much, Dance Girl. This is so nice. I love you so much. Okay. You can make me cry. It's so fucking good. Ugh. Some level, I'm like, I deserve it. I've been a really good fucking boyfriend to you. You know? And, it's not like that's been easy for me. I'm not complaining, okay? I'm not complaining. The pain of love is worth it. Grow in love. Okay, I'm gonna put just one pickle slice. Or maybe two. We're about to have buffet. Well, the neighbors are so cool. They're like Rastafarians. I can't believe they smoke in their truck. Whatever. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts. The Venom's ex-pig once came home from a party with a guy who won the lottery. His name is Rope Master Lord Morpheus. And his girlfriend was Casey Calvert. Who he paid, of course. He was a school teacher.
who now has an 80-pound block of silver as a doorstop on his penthouse apartment. Then Caitlin's landlord won the lottery as well. Makes me wonder if it's rigged who wins it. Yeah, sometimes you eat a pickle on your burger. No, what do you think Joanne's gonna say? I could see her being very, not even considering it, saying, yeah, right. And then saying, but really, Joanne. I'd be curious. Sliming Joanne and her sister would be like going to heaven and then going to heaven. And I'd be good. I'd be able to fuck for hours. I'd be strong. I'd be like this. That's how I do it. I mean, I'd have to ask it. Like, I'd have to ask Google AI if that's what you're saying. Our neighbors are so cool. What's Kayla doing out there? She's going in her truck to smoke. What? I don't know what she's doing. I gotta stop watching her. I don't watch her. I'm just like, what's she doing out there? She's walking back and forth. She's putting her hands on the ground. Then she's standing up, going down like that, touching the ground. Like, is she about to faint? Wearing a big baggy t-shirt. No, I'm not a snoop. I'm not a snoop. But I feel now like I'm the king of the world, so I gotta keep an eye on my kingdom. What was I name Joanne? I like the name Joanne. I'll name her Joanne. I always wanted to be reborn again in Joanne's family. Alright, so that would be the life. Strangely enough, I ended up liking my mom, liking my own family. At some point, I said I got the best family I could hope for. It just took me a while to realize it. I'm so fucking relieved. Oh my god. Kayla has a barbecue out front. We used to have a barbecue. I wouldn't mind getting one again. Kayla's cool because she's a single mom. Single moms are cool. They're like, yeah, we don't raise babies with guys. I'm like, I understand. At the same time, I found a dad. But I also found him when I was like 20. You know, you really only raise someone until they're 5. That's really true. That's really the truth. Once they're 5, then you're finished raising them. And then whoever they are, they're already that person. Then you're just taking care of them. Which is not something that you do. You know, then they could take care of themselves. In fucking, you know, in nature, they wouldn't have to worry that someone would harm them. And so then they would just be autonomous at that point. You know, so in that sense, after they're 5, it's as unnatural to be a mother as it is to be a father. And so Dance Girl and I will be taking on an unfair burden by having babies, by adopting babies. It will be unnatural. But I would help with that because it's unfair for both of us, and it's unfair for those babies that they are born without parents. So, you know, what can you do? Well, once you have your own house, once you have an extra bedroom, once you have enough money, once you're established, then why not? Why wouldn't you? You know, you should. Once you get your own self figured out. Now, should I get Anatoly level strong? Yeah, I should. And you're like, really? Anyone can do it on fruit. Anatoly's a freak because he eats cooked food. Anyone on fruit could do that. I'm so fucking happy I got this Civic. Oh my god, am I ever happy. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting not to get it, but I had just given up worrying and hoping that it was one way or the other. And then all of a sudden, there it is. And I should eat fruit too to live longer. You know, obviously, at some point, Dance Girl is going to say, I prefer you don't die today. At some point, that is going to be a real conversation. Oh, you're kind of getting old. I prefer you don't die. Okay. Yeah, death is natural. We can celebrate that too. But maybe you shouldn't die today. I'd like to have another day with you. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So, you know, one of my original sentiments was I will be raw vegan, which will extend my life by an extra 20 years.
And it will not only extend my life by an extra 20 years, it will make me healthy right up until the day I die. I'll never have disease, I'll never be weak, I'll be able to do a handstand while I'm dying. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna just my head up high. It's been a while since I could call you. It's been a while since I could say that I wasn't addicted. It's been a while since I could call you. And everything I can remember it all may seem. Consequences. Yeah, okay, sure. What's that other one by Eddie Vedder? This one I think is the right one. You're not gonna guess the one. This is the one I think. Why is the iPad turning off? It was at like 36% a minute ago. Do you think that's a bit suspicious that TSD's brother walked down the street in the middle of the street? And that they have blue cars, like, driving really loud down the street? Shadows grow so long, moving across the page. Suddenly the day turns into night, far away from the city. Don't hesitate, 'cause your love won't wait. Ooh, baby, I love your way. I wanna tell you I love your way. I wanna be they have the power to shine, shine, shine. And I can see them under the pine. Oh, but don't you hesitate, 'cause your love, it won't wait. Ooh, baby, I love your way. I wanna tell you I love your way. I wanna be with you night and day. Well, don't hesitate, 'cause your love, it won't wait. I can see the sunset in your eyes, brown and gray and blue besides. Clouds are stalking islands in the sun. I wish I could buy one out of season. But don't hesitate, 'cause your love, it won't wait. Ooh, baby, I love your way. I wanna tell you I love your way. I wanna be with you night and day. Ooh, baby, I love your way. Do you like it now? Do you like me to? I have issues sometimes. I judge myself so much. I'm like trying to think of you. I'm trying to think of like me dead, and not I'm not trying to be dramatic over here. I'm thinking like, this sucks, and the only way you'd like this is if I was dead. Not that you hate me, not anything like that. You're like, yeah, his music sucks, but now that he's dead and I really miss him, now I actually really like it. Now it's like endearing. You know, it sucks, but it's like, it comes from him, so I like it. That's how I kind of felt. Like, that's the only way this even sounds good. I'm so happy I said hi to the neighbors. I didn't see their daughter, I just saw their parents. Their daughter's probably about in her 30s. And what is up? Does she have a seeing eye dog? Does she have a stick? I don't think they're honeypots. I think that they just won the lottery. That's what happened. I was like, can you imagine what I thought when I saw them smoking in their car? I'm like, oh, you probably fucking... You know, I was pretty judgmental. And then I saw them when he looked over to wave, I realized this guy's really fucking cool. I saw his whole beard, I thought he had long hair. He doesn't dye his hair, he has gray hair. He's a hippie. Perfect. We got fucking hippies for neighbors. Really fucking perfect. I'm really excited. I made a good impression. I waved to them. I did an extended wave. Hello. Hey, can you see me? Hi. And they both waved. Fucking awesome. And thank you, Dance Girl, for being so prompt. You know who you'd really like is my dad. He's really good.
I think the fourth just walked by. Not sure. Someone wore all black. That's what she wears. That's how I know if she sends me a sign. She's wearing all black. Well, let's see. Well, you know, I'm not gonna say anything to the fourth. You know, I would say thank you, fourth, but you know, as per our rules with, you know, like we're not talking to other pigs, and so I don't know what to say. You know, I don't know what to say. I'm just telling you, Jessica, the fourth just walked by, and so anyways, I wouldn't mind getting a single-story house too. I wouldn't mind if it looked nice. If it was like a cottage, probably have 11-foot ceilings. That'd be fine. You know what they have too? They have, so I'll get like 5 videos in a row. The first video will be, we put shit in your food. The second video will be a red race car. The third video will be Voltaren, muscle relaxer, we ranked you. The fourth video will be someone going to prison. And the fifth video will be like, you know, some threat against your family. It's like they put videos like as if to say, I don't even know what the point is. I sometimes wonder what is this? Like, what are you saying? Are you just taunting? Stu, you're very bad. He got his food. He probably needs to go outside. Okay, Stu, I understand. Come on, Stu, let's go outside. Come on, Stu. Come on. Yeah. It's rough out there for our cat. Yeah. We already know it's not a volume issue. You physically have to put on your harness. Too young to outside. Off the leash, you can't open the door like Todd. You don't have intelligence like Todd. Okay, go on out. Go on out, Stu. You asked to go out. Now you have to go out. No, you have to go out. Yeah, no. You cried wolf, you want to go out. So now the grass is wet. Now it's damp outside. Get out of that before you can yell. There's some Snorlax. My pussy smells really good. I should have a shower. I have to take a shit. Hard to do my pelvic floor muscles. You know, a shower is having a shit and then taking a shower. I lay down in the shower. I only sit down in the shower. And if we have a bathtub shower, I lay in it. I don't let the water hit my wiener. I'm so happy, dance girl. I'm so fucking happy. Love me. Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good. I am so excited. I can't wait for our date. It's gonna be so fresh. So, yeah, I'm just so excited. Oh my god. It feels really good to be accepted for who you are. I never in a million years would have thought I was saying hi to my fucking pig. That is so funny. Could you imagine you're meeting your pig and you don't even know it? Could you fucking imagine? That's crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna pick up my clothes. I guess I'll do that with you. I really shouldn't even be folding these, but sometimes I just want to hang out a little bit more. These are my pajamas. This was $8. Billabong shirt. This is flannel. This is from the thrift shop. This would have cost a lot more at Amazon. And these are from a store called Sale. S-A-I-L. Fleece inside. These are really nice. Gasco has a pair like that too. I wonder if they're from Sale actually. And then there's just another white SUV that drove by. And then this shirt is boring, but I like it. This shirt is from my Indian aunt. And it's, her mom would make me dal. And this is one of my favorites. I like a long sleeve, thin shirt with a hood. Then this is one of my favorites. A hooded, sleeveless shirt. Now, I have to pick out what I'm wearing after my shower. So I might wear that with a hood, have my eyelid tape in. I don't like putting my eyelid tape in before I have a shower because it always comes out. So I could have a bath, but I prefer showers to some extent. These are really thin track pants. These are really good. They're actually one of my favorites. I could wear those. I have to pick out a pair of pants. This one came from my Indian aunt and her husband, who's my uncle. And it's another one of these shirts that has some kind of spiritual thing on it. It's inside out. And then this is from Sale, I think. This is I love you in sign language. It says a hole in it. And then this is one of my nicer shirts. This one was only $8 at the thrift shop. And this one is made out of flannel. Or cotton. Actually, no, this is cotton, not flannel. But flannel is cotton, but cotton isn't flannel. This is pretty wrinkly. And then we have my Mortal Kombat vest. This one is fucking choice. I really, really like this one. I wish it was a bit smaller. I might ask my grandma to sew some of these. This is a shirt I asked my mom. Did you give, I saw TSB wearing a similar shirt to this. And I asked my mom, did you give my clothes away to people? She was so angry at me for asking her that. She's like, who the fuck do you think I am? And this is basically a see-through shirt. Then we got some clean socks. You can hear someone talking. I don't know where that's coming from. We got an extra pair. These are Champion socks. These are not the same as Drymax. I think I offered to give it. Oh, I'm not even wearing my Drymax ones. And then these ones are really thin. These have a hole in them. I hate a fucking sock with a hole in it. Do you hear this? Where's this noise coming from? Do Stella and Jamie have company over? I need to see who that is. Well, I don't know where that noise came from. I think it's coming from the TV downstairs. And, well, anyways. Oh yeah, and then in the laundry basket,
we have this little bug. Look at that little bug. Isn't he cute? He's all dried up. Rigor mortis. I showed Todd Baby's dead body with rigor mortis. Baby was my mom's cat. I took him out to the road. I said, look, do you see what happens? Do you see this dead cat? This is gonna be you, so you better be careful. I called Tim. I said, Baby's dead. He said, no, she's not. I said, yes, she is. My mom was so crying. My mom was so upset. I couldn't believe it. Baby used to bully the fuck out of Todd. Todd could kill Baby in 1 second, and he would just let her. And my mom would be so mad. She would be furious at Baby. Baby was so funny. Baby was far superior to Stu, but not really superior to Todd. But on some level, my mom would have said, you know, you'd never get her to admit this. She'd never say this. She would have said, you know, if you really got her stoned enough or something like that, she'd say, yeah, clearly Baby is better than Stu. And she'd say even Baby is as good as Todd. She would say that. She'd say Baby is my real cat and Stu is just someone who hangs around. He's just a cat who hangs around. She would never admit that, okay? She would never fucking admit that. But I know that she'd say that's not true. I'd say, well, okay. And, you know, she said, would you bury Baby for me? So I was like, do you know how hard it is to dig a hole? It's fucking hard. So I dig a hole like 10 inches deep and I put Baby in it. And then I bury her. And the next day the hole is dug up and animal has ate her body. And I'm just like, okay. Anyway, I'm just gonna put the dirt back in there and yeah, that's Baby's grave. Oop. So anyways, I liked Baby. One time she went and she just bit my hair. You know, she had the personality of the black dragon in the movie How to Train Your Dragon. She was like that. And she would just go crazy on Todd. She just would attack Todd all the time. And Todd would just lay there. He didn't care. That was funny. Okay, well, perfect. What a great day. Thank you, Dance Girl. I love you. And I love you. I really love you a lot. And fucking, you know, do a retinal scan here of, you know, I got a soft wiener. That's pretty soft. And here's how happy I am. This is the look of my default state at this point. It's kind of like a relaxed look of fulfillment. And, you know, let me see if my eyelid tape is done properly. Yeah, I think it is.